Welcome to another Lombardi Live. Today we'll be talking with a superstar, a drummer, percussionist, singer, songwriter, humanitarian, beautiful person in every way, the Queen of Percussion, Sheila E. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Don. Thank you for having me.
And congratulations. You know, you recently, and with Pops, won the Latin Grammy Award, right? The Lifetime Achievement Award. That was unique, number one. And what was your feeling like when you first got that?
Oh, my God. Well, when they first told us, I cried for about 20 minutes. I went outside like, ah! I literally went outside and cried in my backyard. I could not believe it because I was extremely happy for him. It wasn't really about me. It was about my dad, about Pops getting this award. Actually, I have it right here.
Oh, fantastic.
So, yeah, I was excited for him. I mean, it was a long time coming, and I was just extremely excited. Neither of us have ever won a Grammy, so to get a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Latin Grammys, from our peers, was just like mind-boggling. We're like, wait, what? You know, we did not expect it. It just literally, there were no hints about, oh, maybe we might consider. They just came out and told us. It was crazy. So we're just very humbled and grateful.
You got the Latin drumming Grammy from us every time because you do so many wonderful projects. And you know, your musical career has certainly crossed over all genres, which I think is important for kids to learn, don't you think? They have to really, you know, open up their ears and their eyes to not only different cultures, but different music.
Yeah, that's what's so cool about, you know, thank God my dad is a percussionist, Pops is, but that was the really cool thing growing up and living in the Bay Area in Oakland, and Pops being who he is. Like, he had a lot of LPs, vinyl, and he would practice every day and bring in different music. And so he listened to a lot of Latin jazz, of course, because that's the foundation of who he is. But also he brought in jazz, and then we had Motown, so everyone from Motown, and then all of the artists that are from the Bay, including, you know, Carlos Santana and Tower Power, Grateful Dead, Pointer Sisters, Sly and the Family Stone. Like, there were so many artists that we were able to go and watch their rehearsals. So my dad, you know, Pops kept saying, you know, listen to all the music, you know, Afro-Cuban, Brazilian music, Brazilian artists. And then in the middle of all of that, when I was still, like, I think I was 9 in the 3rd grade, and then he decides, let's have you learn classical music. I'm like, wait, what? So yes, I think for young people, it's so important to keep your mind open and learn all genres of music, because I think that's, for me, has been the, I think, important part of keeping me relevant, because I'm able to adjust to all different genres of music. And I've been able to play with so many different artists, like even country music. Brooks and Dunn, I did the Country Music Awards with them, playing timbales. Like, country music with timbales? Yeah, it works.
I missed that one. That's classic.
Yeah.
Well, I've said often that, you know, your formal education was at the University of Pops.
Exactly.
And it couldn't be any more. Had you gone to a university, you wouldn't have gotten any more courses or classes or had any more time to work on it than you did growing up that way.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the truth. I mean, he's been my greatest teacher and inspiration, and so has Mom's. Mom's, even though she was an athlete and she loved sports and a tomboy, on the other hand, Mom's was like a go-getter. Mom's is always saying, let's go, let's move. You can do it. Don't give up. If you've never done it before, it doesn't matter. You're still going to be good at it. Like, we believed, you know, what she said. Like, we can do it, of course. Oh, have you played violin before? No, but it's no big deal. I'll learn in a week. So what?
Wait a minute. Speaking of violin, has anything happened in your life recently in that area?
Yes, I heard about you being a part of this. Yes, I got a new violin.
I forgot to ask about that.
Yes, I got a new violin. I'm so happy. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. And I've been practicing a little bit every day. And I was like, you know, I don't even know if I remember it. So I've cut all my nails off. And I started playing, and I'm remembering, like, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I mean, songs like just came to my head. I was thinking fingering wise, what do I remember? What is easy? Happy birthday. And so I'm having fun with it. Thank you for being a part of me getting this violin.
A small part, but I didn't know you had played violin as a child. They called and said, what do you get somebody that has everything? And so I was scratching my head too. I said, I'm not so sure what we would come up with. And they said, well, what about a violin, like when she used to play? So was that your first instrument when you were really, really young, aside from playing percussion, of course?
Yeah, I mean, congas was the first, as far as percussion, not timbales, but congas. And then 9 years old, violin. That was it. Yeah.
So maybe we'll break it here on Sheila on violin on Drum Channel. You hear it here first. Look out. We don't know what's going to happen next.
That's true.
I know, talking about your family, what a wonderful family it is. Family in general and faith, I know, and music are such important mantras of your life. And for everybody, don't you think, how important that is? Not that you have to be a great professional musician, but just bringing the thrill of music and what it means to a person's, lifestyle, how important that is.
Yeah, I mean, music is so important, whether you play it or not. I think people, if they want to feel a certain way or bringing back memories or want to feel good, there's feel-good music, there's background music. I mean, I feel like, especially during this pandemic, there were so many people that gravitated to music. Like that, it's healing. Music is healing. Some music makes you want to dance, and some music makes you cry. It's at that point of, I need some inspiration. I need something to get me through. It's been music, and I think it's so important. And again, you don't have to learn how to play music. You just enjoy music. And that's the one thing I think that is so cool with being an artist and a musician, is that we can travel all over the world and be able to reach people because of music. And I tell people, it doesn't matter your ethnicity, your financial status, whether you believe in God or not, or whatever, the universe, whatever you believe, who you love or not love, your political stand, none of that matters. When it comes to music, music surpasses all of these things and brings people together because of the love of music. And that is so amazing to be able to be a part of being able to bless someone with just music. It's crazy.
Taking it a little bit deeper, I think, just thinking about it as you're speaking, we talk about music and people say, what's your favorite song? Or they think about music and they would think of songs, usually lyrics. And I think the most important part of music that hits you at the feeling level is your life's work, which is the rhythm part of it. It does make you want to dance. It's not, the lyrics don't necessarily make you want to dance. It's what you're feeling and the rhythm that makes you want to dance. And all those cultural, in the Latin community, all those rhythms were dances, correct?
Yeah, and that's what's really cool. It's like, people say to me all the time, I don't have rhythm. I said, every single person has rhythm. And you know where the rhythm starts? In your heart. The rhythm starts with your heartbeat. So you have rhythm, whether you believe it or not. It's like, oh, wait, I never even thought of that. You have a heartbeat. That is your beat. That is your rhythm. That's your swag. That's how you do. That's how you survive. And definitely drums is a big part of having people dance. Absolutely. I think, back in way before we were born, it was part of communication, and still maybe in some rural areas, in villages, it is still a part of communicating with the other people in faraway villages.
Yeah, I've often heard through my life, well, I can't play drums, I can't walk and chew gum at the same time, so I would never be able to do something like that. And my reply is, somebody told this to me once, which I thought was really kind of an interesting moment. When you're walking down the street, your feet are in floor and your arms are in eighth note. Your arms are working twice as fast as your feet, so you've got a rhythm going on just to get up and go across the room. So why can't you do that at a drum set?
And that's how I teach people how to play, by walking. I said, you can walk, you walk like this. I did it the other day with this person I just met. It's like, now do this, walk, now do the same thing on the drums. But I'm going to use what you just told me, because that's also a great vision for people to understand about performing or playing drums.
Talking about feel-good music, too. This is a concert. I hadn't heard it for some time, and I just saw it in some of my notes as I was thinking about us talking today. And it's on YouTube. It goes back to your godfather, who is
Tito Puente.
Tito Puente, and you did a thing with your dad on YouTube. I think it was a tribute to him many, many years ago. And if there are certain songs that I can relate to in my lifetime, and that's one where I don't care what you just did. If you just backed out and creamed your car into a fire extinguisher, you know, and you're so pissed, if you go in and you put this on, you're not going to care about whatever made you sad or unhappy. This has got to make you happy.
Thank you. Yeah, was it the one where Tito was playing with us?
Yes, correct. Yeah, it was going way back.
La Familia. Yeah, it was done in probably 86, I think, or 87.
Sounds right, yep.
Yeah, and it was amazing. We had so much fun doing that. And to be able to play with Tito, I mean, Tito was always so inviting when we first met him, because it was like, you know, he's from the East Coast, we're West Coast, and they always talked about rhythm, where the West Coast percussion players in Latin jazz was a little bit loose. It didn't apply to the clave and those about clave. We don't need to go into that, but in New York, it's like, that is law. It's like you're 2 and 4, like that's law. You have to play by the clave. And Tito knew that we really didn't know anything about the clave, so he would always tell us, it doesn't matter. You guys play how you want to play. And he says, don't listen to those other guys. They're all grumpy guys. Don't listen to them. You come up here and play with us. And this is when I was like a teenager. You know, he always, or even younger than that, but he always accepted us as who we were as musicians, not knowing the exact, but just go ahead and play and be who you are no matter what. And that was always inspiring.
Interesting, though, to think about that. I mean, I imagine most of the East Coast players were coming up from Cuba, and it was more very traditional. And back in those days, without the internet, they really didn't have the ability to hear what was happening in New York or in America unless they were to come up here. So it was usually a little bit later in their life. And even on the West Coast, we were even that much further removed from hearing what was going on there, which is probably why it created a little different style. But just thinking, a lot of the younger kids that are watching us here today might not know that much about the history of how the clave affects Latin music and the pulse of the music that they play, thinking of it in terms of rock. When you're sitting down behind the drum set, and you're playing a Latin groove, are you thinking clave? Are you East Coast, West Coast? Are you in between? Or are you just letting it flow?
I'm just letting it flow, because I am not the one to talk about clave. I have no idea. All I know is 2-3 and 3-2, and I'm confused. And and I'm being honest. And that was the thing. It's like I would always hear the clave on the other side of the beat. And I'm like, why am I hearing it on the other side? Well, then I also thought about, there's so many things that I do in my life that I do backwards. I sign my name backwards. I play backwards. And I don't know if that had to do with why I keep hearing the clave on the other side. It's really weird. But no, I don't think of clave when I'm playing. I just play by the way that Pops taught us and the way that we're self-taught and how we watched Pops play. It was more of what you felt when you played, or what you heard, or mimicking what you heard. And, I could close my eyes if someone played something, and I would try to repeat what they played. So it was more from not reading music. It was more so what we heard is how we played.
When you're thinking on the other side, you're thinking reverse clave, where you would...
Like if it's, I can't even explain it, because if you started clave first for me to play my beat, once you started clave, I was always on the other side.
Don't change it, because that's you created a whole style around that too. And then obviously on a funk type gig or something like that, it's just you're just bringing into your playing. You didn't learn that necessarily from Pops. You learned that from your experiences with other artists, I would think.
Yeah, early on, especially when I was playing with, when we started playing with Billy Cobham and George Duke, and experiencing other rhythms and stuff, your traditional Latin rhythms did not apply to what was happening, because it's more fusion. So you're trying to find, if you're playing with Billy Cobham, you've got to find a place where to fit in. And having my dad and I play with him, where do we fit in when he's doing all of this? Where do we fit in? So you've got to find those pockets and necessarily and make sure that we listen to each other so that we can come together and it sounds, you know, syncopated wise, that it flows really well, as opposed to us playing traditional stuff that doesn't match, you know. And then I learned that early on, and then playing with Marvin Gaye and Lionel Richie and Confunction, all these other R&B bands, the clave doesn't exist, you know, in their music. And, you know, you just start making up beats that fit the song, so that, like I always say, you're looking at a picture, and as a percussion player, there's a painting that is painted, and you're going, wow, this is already perfect. How do I fit in? You've got to find that one little color or place, that hole to fit in, so that you don't destroy what's already great. And that's our role as percussion players, is to find that place. Where is that, you know? So sometimes less is more. It's not playing those traditional rhythms. It's like, simplify it so it fits in with the music.
And people are, you know, everything we're talking about here can actually be seen live coming up really soon, because there's a tour that's happening. Back in the day, you know, you would take the A train, but now the whole vibe is taking the E train, right? The Etrain Tour is coming up and coming out there, starting on the 23rd of January, as a matter of fact. Tell us a little bit about the band, and you're going out and doing it again, that's breaking news right there.
It is. Yeah, I haven't played with the E-Train in so long. It's been many, many years. I started it like in 1990, like 5 or 6 or something like that. Anyway, and the E-Train consists of different musicians who, you know, at the time that I'd like to go play. The difference between the Sheila E band and the Sheila E and the E-Train is, the E-Train band, I play drums the entire show. I might get up and play a little bit of something else, but it's mainly just me being the drummer in the band, which is a lot of fun because I never get to play drums.
Go SheilaE.com is where they're going to be able to see Flash Tour, or go on to SheilaE.com and just hit the tour button, and you'll find out exactly what's coming up. And you'll also find out some other things when they go onto your website, which I'd like to talk a little bit about. Your book, it's been out for a while, The Beat of Your Own Drum. What inspired you to write that?
I wanted to write it to just share part of my story, because when I do either clinics, and especially clinics, people asking me questions that a lot of times we can't do that on the big shows. We have to, stick to playing the music and not have a conversation with 10,000 people in the audience. So when we do these small cabarets, I kind of try to, like the E-Train, I'll share some stories with them as well. So with the book, I wanted to share part of my life, how I grew up, and the different things that I've been through as a woman, playing drums as, back in the day, so-called male instrument, and didn't realize that that's what it was, and the different things that had happened to me growing up, and has made me the person that I am, and really being honest and transparent about everything, and how there were times where, making all this money and being successful, and I was that bad person telling everybody, and then I realized I can't be that anymore. I need to change. And so I understand all of that, to wardrobe, to, instruments, to the music, everything, my life, my spirituality, God, my family, just everything, and telling my testimony. And I thought that it would be something. It took me almost a year to write it with my sister-in-law, Sarah, who ended up putting this book together. And then Simon & Schuster decided that she wasn't one of their writers, so we had to get someone else to help us in the 5 days. And then, so anyway, but I gave her credit. But it was an interesting, I guess, way of telling my story, because when we write songs as musicians and artists, we write songs and we basically at some point kind of tell a little bit of part of us in our music that we write, or maybe we change the names to protect the innocent. And, that's songwriting. And so in 3.5, 4 minutes, you write a story that needs to tell a story. By the time you get to the chorus and you come back to the verse, you tell the story, and then we repeat the chorus. Well, with this book, it wasn't a 3.5 minute song. It was a 300-page song, or a 300 words, whatever it was. It was a lot, and it being very detailed and trying to bring the reader into how I felt was pretty interesting, because how do you write that out? How do you explain those details of things? And so sometimes we would read it and we'd read it back and go, okay, wait a minute. I don't think they really understood. I think I need to go into more detail and depth into why this is what it is, or explaining, different situations and stuff like that. So very interesting process, to say the least. And I'm ready to write. I have some books, not books, but my notepads that I've started, some other things that I'd like to write as well and finish.
Well, you've got to have a chapter on the violin in the new book.
I do. I think I do, yeah.
Okay. And I know you have a charity which really hits at the grassroots of problems that that the world has, that you're putting your stamp on and trying to help. Tell us a little bit about that and how people can contribute.
Yeah, Elevate Oakland, which thank you so much. You're a part of as well, to help us with Guitar Center and providing so many instruments for the kids in the Bay Area. It started with another name, but we are now known as Elevate Oakland. I wanted to go back to the Bay Area, and with Lynn Mabry, who's also co-founder, and we partnered with Jason Hoffman and Yoshi from Yoshi's in the Bay Area, partnered with them, and we decided to call it Elevate Oakland. So we assist kids in public schools now, not just, Lynn and I started the foundation by helping kids in foster care, but now the need is so great for music in classes, instruments and teachers, that we decided to go back home and help the kids at home. And so we partnered even with Masterclass, with Guitar Center, with you guys, DW. You guys have provided so many instruments for us with LP and giving the kids to be able to continue to learn music, even virtually or whatever we had to do, especially during this pandemic. So we raise money. We do fundraisers. The kids are coming up, I think February 7th at Yoshi's, I think, is the next concert with the kids. And if you can't, participate there, you can definitely make a donation on elevateoakland.org and help us. And what we do is we also use a lot of the local musicians in Oakland, in the Bay Area, surrounding Bay Area, and we pay them to go and teach the class, and even to assist with the teacher. But we're doing private classes with the kids in order to, and again, keep them engaged with, it's not just drumming, but drumming, music itself, piano, DJing, the art of history of hip hop, choir. It doesn't matter. We're doing all of these things. Whatever the kids want to learn, we ask them, because we want them to be engaged. What do you guys feel, like learning this semester? So it's been very successful and important, and it's also extremely challenging, because we do go to the areas where the need is great, and it's hard to keep the teachers there, or it's hard for the teachers to stay there, or the principals, and there's a lot of changeover that happens. And but the kids that have taken the classes have been very happy about it, and they appreciate classes and what they've been able to learn with us and with the teachers. So go to elevateoakland.org. We would appreciate it.
Often you're on the other side of this interview thing here as a host with the most, with Sheila TV. What's happening there? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, you can see kind of in the background, some of the lights are back there behind me.
Yeah,
during the pandemic, I just, I wanted to still be able to reach the people. So, I turned my game room, living room into a set. And we put up lights, and I press one button, everything comes on, and then we pull out the cameras and we start shooting. And so right now we're not on, but you can go and see a lot of the shows that we've done on YouTube, Sheila E TV, and check out all the episodes that we've done already. We have Artist Spotlight as well, featuring young artists who are up and coming and stuff like that.
If you look around the little set that we have here, there's a 1 in a million chance that you might know who the painter is of this picture, but any clue who that might be? Or my coffee cup that's here every day.
Yeah, my daddy.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
For all of you who've been asking me about that all this time, every time I get emails and I forget to mention it during the show, they say, "Where is that picture? Where did you get that?" It's a beautiful one. No, another talent of the family for sure.
Yeah, my dad is a painter. He's an artist. He just opened his gallery online, and so you can go and look at all these paintings. That painting was done a very long time ago. I think he was on tour with Santana. I'm not sure. And he went to Paris, or I think, and out on the streets. And then when he came back home, I think that's when he drew that painting.
What about your painting life here? That's something we haven't touched on as an artist. Do you get into that? You get into that a little bit. I know, I've heard about that.
Yeah, no. I do have some. You can go on my website to find out where to get them. But yeah, we do have 10 or 12 paintings out now, but it's not a painting that looks like a painting. There's a process in how we do it, but I'm in every single one of those paintings. You can kind of see my silhouette or my drums or my timbales or the drum set, and it's really cool how we did it.
And that's at SheilaE.com on your website.
Yeah, you can find out how to get that.
Do you have, looking back at your career, do you have that particular concert or clinic that kind of stands out in your mind?
I always go back to the one with Pops when I was 15, and that was the first time I realized in my life that I wanted to be a musician. I didn't always want to be a musician. I just loved music. I wanted to be I was track and field, training to be in the Olympics. So I knew I was going to get a gold medal. That was like number one. And so I did all sports. I also played on a women's soccer league for 5 years. We were undefeated. And so I was all into sports. But that one show with my dad at 15, he had his band called Azteca, and we played in front of 3,000 people. And that just changed my life. That was it. It was the highlight of my life, and the point where after we were done performing, I was crying. Like, I was just overwhelmed with what I felt like. I had never felt like that before. And I just said, "Daddy, I want to go out on tour. This is it. I want to play percussion." He's like, "No, wait, what?" I'm like, "No, this is it. This is what I want to do." And then 2 weeks later, we fly out to Bogota, Colombia, and that was the beginning of my tour life, being a professional musician at 15.
Quick question: when you're in the E-Train, when you're playing drums and there's not percussion in the band, as opposed to when you're playing and there is percussion, are you consciously making an effort to play patterns a little differently on the drum set because you're going to be doubling up what some of the percussionists would do, or are you kind of staying out of that to give them more room? We get the question here often: how do I play with and without a percussionist?
Yeah, that's a great question. Let's get this straight. I am a percussion player who plays percussion on drums. I don't consider myself like a drummer. I play percussion on drums. So my conga beats, I'm playing on the drums. That's a lot of what I do. Like when I play with Pops, playing his music, I'm playing some of my conga beats with the cowbell on the kick drum, playing those conga beats. I'm just playing it with sticks and utilizing my double kick pedals, both my feet, as another pair of hands in a sense. So they're doing some of the accents. So if I'm playing, I'll just use a cowbell, the snare, kick drum. It's the same thing. And so I use those rhythms of percussion on the drums. And when it comes to playing, the R&B, things like that, it's just, you just play pocket. You just play straight, making sure we're all playing together. That's just 2 and 4 or 4 on the floor, whatever, making it simple, so that I always say that the space within a song is the most important part of a song, is letting it breathe. That space is important. So if it gets complicated where stuff is happening, it's just going to be crazy. You can do that for a minute, but like not all the time. And so the important part to me as as I've learned, that space is the most important part of music, is letting that part breathe. It's important.
Here's another big lesson you just gave everybody, and I'm going to, this might sound a little bit weird to you. I'm going to encourage everybody to rewind this and check this out again when you just played those beats a little bit, because what she was doing with her hands was playing a certain pattern that came simply as a result of what her body was doing, because you can't sit there and do it without moving. It's coming. It's coming from a place, the end result happens to be what her hands are doing, but the thing that's actually making it work is the feeling in the first place. So if your hands just do it and it isn't coming from your head first, it's going to sound rudimental, I guess would be the word. It won't have the same feeling. So, and you can't even think about it the other way. I mean, you couldn't play something without feeling it first and then having it happen. So you're hearing the bass line and the whole band right there when you're doing it.
Exactly. It's true. That's like you have to. I mean, some people, like I'm saying, they say they don't have rhythm, and there are people that play, but it's like that's why I keep saying it's from my heart. It's a feel. I have to move when I play because it's my heart. It's my head. I'm not thinking, but telling my heart's telling my brain to tell my hands and my feet to move and my body, and that's when I move when I'm playing and even recording. I'm always moving when I'm recording. If I'm playing shaker, it's hard to just to concentrate like that. I have to kind of like move with it if I'm playing shaker. If I'm playing, and the more I move, it's just like whoop, the more fun I have, and it plays. When you play it back, you're just going, she sounds like she's having fun. Yeah.
And in closing, talking about all of the many accolades that have fallen upon you and that are going to in the years to come, because you're so young. You're too young to be a legend, but you are a legend still. In the Modern Drummer Hall of Fame, I see a little right there on your bookcase. What have you got there? The Modern Drummer Hall of Fame, the first woman to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Can you believe it? I can't believe it. I thought there were many before me. I had no idea until I heard that I was inducted in the Modern Drummer Hall of Fame. I was overwhelmed. So I'm so honored. And I'm not the last, though. I know that because there are so many incredible young ladies playing right now, like unbelievable amount of young girls playing right now. Young girls, young kids. And even I just posted one of the pastors playing drums today. I posted it yesterday, like a pastor, she's playing drums. And I'm like, yes, let's do this. You're never too old to learn how to play. And I swear I'm not going to be the last because there's so many great, incredible young ladies playing right now. And I follow as many as I can and encourage them to keep going. So thank you for that.
And the idea of it not being a girl's instrument is way over. In fact, look out, guys, because I agree with Sheila. I'm seeing some women come up that are young girls from all around the world. I mean, we're talking about from China, from Taiwan, that are just like, they've been looking at all these great videos of all these great drummers since they were born, because they have that ability now, and they're nailing it. So, well, congratulations on all the things that you've had come at you, all the awards and everything that's happened in your lifetime. And I'm so excited to see everything that's going to be happening and working with you in the future and things we can do together too. We've been brainstorming some cool ideas.
No, I appreciate you guys, Don, and John as well. I mean, and the company, DW, and what you guys have done for us, for the kids, but what you've done for us as artists with your drums and LP, everything that you guys have acquired and what you've gone through, and how you guys have helped us to become better musicians. You have no idea how amazing you guys have been, and we owe so much to you guys. We really do. We appreciate the consistent giving and serving to us, to all of us, and I can't thank you enough. I don't even know what to do for you guys to just thank you for all the years thus far that I've been with you guys. You never say no. You're always accommodating, serving, gracious, humble. I just, I thank you for being our friends and our family. Just really thank you guys.
Well, it's a two-way street, and wearing my drum channel hat and wearing my DW hat, it's all about kind of giving back, and it's felt mutually at every level. That's what encourages us to go on. So many ideas come from artists and seeing what they're doing, and I want to help make you dance as much as I can out there. So then I want to show everybody that's on Drum Channel and have them learn about the important things and how important that is to make it happen. So so a lot of good things happening coming up here in the future. And have a great time on the tour you have out there. Look forward to you getting back. And SheilaE.com tour. Find out what's going on. Get the tickets right now because they're going to be going quick. And you're going to see her live doing everything that she talked about here.
Absolutely.
Not playing violin yet, but just hold off on that one for a minute.
You don't know.
Uh-oh. Okay. Well, okay. We'll see you soon, Sheila. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Don. I love you.
And thank you for watching. And we'll see you next time on the next Lombardi Live.